Have you ever experienced the sensation that your reality was being altered in real time? As if one were existing within a psychological thriller in which the antagonist was not concealed in the darkness, they occupied a position directly opposite you. Their expressions adorned with smiles. Carl Jung once articulated that every annoyance we perceive in others can serve as a pathway to self-discovery. However, what occurs when that irritation appears to be anything but arbitrary? When it is meticulously arranged, when an individual has transformed your psychological landscape into their own arena, remain engaged. For what I am about to disclose will fundamentally alter your perception of every relationship you encounter in your life. Consider this. Jung unveiled a significant insight regarding the essence of humanity. Within each of us resides a shadow, the aspects of our being that we often prefer to overlook. However, there is a crucial insight that many individuals fail to recognize. Emotional manipulators possess more than mere shadows. They manipulate your own resources against you. By the conclusion of this episode, you will gain a comprehensive understanding of their methods and, more crucially, how to counteract them. Envision this engaging in dialogue. One finds oneself unexpectedly offering apologies for actions that remain uncertain. Departing from the interaction, a sense of fatigue and bewilderment lingers, prompting a reevaluation of one's own recollections. Does this resonate with you? Herein lies the unsettling reality. This is not a mere coincidence. Carl Jung remarked, "The most daunting challenge is to fully embrace one's own self." Emotional manipulators take advantage of this fear. It is recognized that a significant number of individuals would prefer to question their own perceptions rather than confront the disquieting reality that a trusted person may be manipulating their thoughts through psychological tactics. Jung's exploration of the collective unconscious reveals that we are inherently connected through specific archetypal patterns. The yearning for connection, the anxiety of being forsaken, the longing for comprehension. Yet, consider this. Manipulators observe these dynamics with the precision of a predator stalking its quarry. They require no formal education in psychology. Rather, they possess an innate grasp of the insights that Jung elucidated over many years of inquiry, that the human mind harbors discernible weaknesses. They capitalize on each and every one. However, the unsettling aspect lies in what follows. Jung elucidated that individuals frequently project their own shadow, those repressed thoughts and emotions, onto others. This phenomenon serves as a natural psychological defense mechanism. However, manipulators adeptly reverse engineer this intricate process. This is the mechanism by which it operates. They impose their manipulation upon you, leading you to perceive yourself as the one who is being unreasonable. Excessively theatrical or overly emotional is a form of psychological manipulation that employs your own cognitive mechanisms to turn them against you. Carl Jung stated, "Projection is one of the most prevalent psychic phenomena. All that lies dormant within us is often revealed through our interactions with others." However, what transpires when those around us intentionally sow ideas within our subconscious? The manipulator serves as a reflective surface, presenting a skewed representation of your own identity. Consistently erroneous, perpetually overreacting, and invariably the source of issues. Moreover, the familiarity of this shadow aspect evokes a sense of shared insecurities within us all. You begin to accept its validity, yet hold on. There's a further decline. Jung elucidated the concept of the persona, the facade we adopt to maneuver through social contexts. It is not a mere imitation. It is a manifestation of adaptability. However, manipulators do not merely don masks. They compel you to adopt theirs. They construct what Jung would refer to as a deceptive persona, a manifestation of oneself that is crafted exclusively to satisfy others, aimed at circumventing discord and maintaining tranquility. And herein lies the subtlety. This fabricated identity resembles development. It appears that you are exhibiting greater understanding, increased patience, and a sense of evolution. However, this evolution may not be as profound as it seems. You are fading away. Jung posits that the journey of individuation towards realizing one's authentic self necessitates the integration of all facets of one's personality, including those that may be deemed uncomfortable. Those who manipulate obstruct this integration by penalizing authenticity and incentivizing conformity. And here lies the aspect that may astonish you. They render you an accomplice in your own psychological confinement. You assume the role of the custodian of your own emotional confinement. Jung elucidated that societal groups and familial structures can possess collective shadows, embodying shared unconscious patterns that significantly influence behavior. Manipulators possess an innate understanding of this dynamic and exploit it to their benefit. Their influence extends beyond mere individual manipulation. They adeptly navigate and manipulate the entire social ecosystem surrounding you. In this capacity, they assume the role of narrator in your narrative, dictating to both you and others your identity, past actions, and prescribed emotional responses. Carl Jung stated, "The individual has consistently faced the challenge of resisting the overpowering influence of the collective. However, what transpires when the collective itself has succumbed to emotional manipulation? The manipulator presents themselves as the rational party, the victim, the one merely attempting to assist. In the interim, you are portrayed as the source of instability, a figure of dramatic tension, and an individual who is exceedingly difficult to satisfy." However, what Jung comprehended that many individuals miss, Jung revealed that within each of us resides a psychological counterpart of the opposite gender, the anima, representing the feminine aspect in men, and the animus, embodying the masculine aspect in women. These signify our ability to experience emotion, intuition, and interpersonal connection. Manipulators deliberately focus on these facets of your psyche. They engage your nurturing instincts, your yearning to comprehend and mend the wounds of others, as well as your inherent ability for empathy and forgiveness. They impose their issues as your emotional obligation. Carl Jung stated, "Your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Those who look outside dream. Those who delve within experience enlightenment. However, those who manipulate consistently direct your attention outward, focusing on their own requirements. They're suffering their interpretation of existence. They maintain your attention so intensely on comprehending their perspectives that you lose sight of your own self-awareness. This creates a psychological entrapment that hinders your progress." Jung posits that the pinnacle of human psychological evolution is individuation, a process of becoming a complete, authentic, and self-directed individual. This is precisely what those who engage in emotional manipulation must prevent from occurring. What is the reason behind this? An individuated person resists manipulation. A person possessing profound self-awareness, who relies on their intuition and has reconciled their inner conflicts, is capable of perceiving psychological manipulations with clarity and immediacy. Jung elucidated that the journey towards individuation necessitates what he termed active imagination, the capacity to engage in discourse with your subconscious, attuning yourself to the insights of your inner knowledge. However, those who manipulate inundate your mind with an overwhelming cacophony of uncertainty and bewilderment, rendering your own thoughts inaudible. They transform your mental landscape into a contentious arena where their influence prevails above all else. However, what remains undisclosed to you is this: Jung elucidated that beneath the realm of our personal unconscious exists the collective unconscious, a profound reservoir of wisdom that is a shared inheritance of all humanity. It is within this deeper stratum that our most essential instincts regarding truth, danger, and authenticity are rooted. Those who manipulate exert considerable effort to sever your connection to this intrinsic guide. They persuade you that your intuitive feelings are misguided, that your emotional responses are disproportionate, that your psychological perception is flawed. However, Jung uncovered that this profound understanding is nearly impossible to completely stifle. Carl Jung stated, "Your task is not to pursue love, but rather to identify and uncover all the obstacles within yourself that you have constructed against it. However, consider the possibility that those obstacles do not originate from within you. What if they have been imposed by external forces?" And here lies the pivotal moment that transforms the entire landscape. Jung elucidated that genuine psychological well-being necessitates the integration of the shadow, which involves recognizing and embracing the aspects of ourselves that we might prefer to overlook. Yet, this presents a paradox. Identifying manipulation constitutes a profound exploration of the self. It necessitates confronting disquieting realities, the betrayal of trust by someone you held in esteem, the acceptance of your own diminishment, and the acknowledgement of your role in your own psychological decline. As Jung posits, enlightenment is not attained through the mere visualization of luminous forms, but rather through the conscious acknowledgement of the darkness within. The shadows reside not solely within the manipulator, but also in your readiness to forsake your own essence to evade discord. Yet this understanding does not signify defeat. It serves as an entryway to liberation. Carl Jung articulated, "The privilege of a lifetime is being who you are." However, after experiencing manipulation, one may find it challenging to recall their true self. The favorable information Jung revealed that the self, your fundamental essence, is impervious to destruction. It may be concealed, altered, or muted, yet it remains indelible. Moreover, it persistently endeavors to steer you towards your true self. Herein lies the initiation of your odyssey towards self-discovery. Initially engage in what Jung referred to as active imagination. Commence a discourse with your inner voice once more. Contemplate the question, what are my genuine thoughts on this? How do I perceive it when I strip away their interpretation? Reclaim your shadow once more. Recognize the aspects of your being that the manipulator compelled you to conceal. Your anger, your boundaries, and your right to disagree are not shortcomings. They are fundamental components of your completeness. Third, have confidence in your intrinsic understanding. Jung uncovered that we possess inherent access to universal patterns of wisdom. Your innate drive to safeguard your well-being, pursue authenticity, and insist on dignity. These do not constitute flaws in character. They are fundamental psychological necessities. Herein lies the most formidable instrument ever unearthed by Jung. He posits that individuation engenders what could be termed psychological sovereignty, a condition in which one emerges as the paramount authority over their own experiential reality. This represents the ultimate dread of the manipulator. An autonomous individual possesses an intrinsic understanding of reality, independent of external affirmation. They do not seek authorization to rely on their intuition. They do not compromise their integrity to uphold an illusion of harmony. Carl Jung articulated, "Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. However, a distinct individual asserts, and all that seeks to manipulate us can guide us towards a deeper comprehension of our own power." Because this is the insight that Jung grasped, which eludes the majority. In the process of recovering from manipulation, one does not merely restore their own well-being. Rather, they play a vital role in what Jung referred to as the collective healing of society. Each individual who resists psychological subjugation contributes to the challenge of manipulation flourishing within our communities, families, and the broader world. Jung revealed that the process of individual psychological development carries broader collective significance. Your path towards authenticity inspires others to embark on their own journeys. However, there is one final element that unifies all aspects of this endeavor. Carl Jung posited, The most significant inquiry one can pose is, what myth am I living? Upon engaging in manipulation, one arrives at the opportunity to select a new narrative. A narrative in which you assume the role of the protagonist in your own tale, rather than merely a secondary figure in another's theatrical performance. The path away from manipulation transcends merely severing toxic connections. It involves initiating a profound relationship with oneself, a commitment to honoring what Jung referred to as the self, the core essence that remains untouched by any form of manipulation. And therein lies the beautiful truth that Jung unveiled. Upon completing this journey, having reclaimed your psychological sovereignty, integrated your shadow, and placed trust in the wisdom of your collective unconscious, you attain a state of near immunity to future attempts at manipulation. Not due to the construction of barriers, but rather because you establish a profound connection with your true essence, rendering efforts to alter your perception ineffective. You evolve into what Jung might refer to as an individuated soul. A person with self-awareness possesses confidence in their emotions and steadfastly maintains their integrity, refusing to compromise their identity for the sake of others. Carl Jung's ultimate insight was arguably his most significant. The journey inward represents the most challenging yet crucial endeavor of existence. It is simultaneously the most emancipating, for in achieving a profound understanding of oneself, embracing both the shadows and the light, the wounds and the wisdom, the fears and the strengths, one attains an unassailable resilience, not due to the absence of potential harm, but rather because you possess the confidence to navigate any challenges that may arise. Recall the wisdom that Jung imparted. You are not defined by the perceptions of others. You are not merely a product of your trauma, your uncertainties, or your previous acquiescence. You are an autonomous individual endowed with access to boundless knowledge, immense fortitude, and the unwavering entitlement to express your true self. This, my friend, is an undeniable reality that no deceiver can ever strip from you. The auditory landscape rises and diminishes. As Carl Jung elucidated, the true privilege of existence transcends mere self-identity. It lies in the profound realization that one has perpetually possessed the agency to determine one's own essence. I sincerely appreciate your companionship throughout this journey of inquiry. If you appreciated the insights shared in today's discourse, kindly consider subscribing to the channel and disseminating this video to individuals who may find it advantageous.